Well, as hundreds of firefighters continue to try and get that fire under control, we're learning more about the heroes we lost. Doug's back up in Prescott with some of their stories. Doug?
Faye, you know, there's so many stories here. 19 families dealing with unimaginable loss and heartache. I can't even imagine what they must be going through. We have reached out to a few of them. Some have been willing to talk. Kevin Kennedy spoke with one father whose loss is mixed with a feeling of guilt.
I'm loving it.
Welcome back to 12 News Today. I'm Doug Meehan in Prescott outside Engine 7's headquarters. You know, a lot of folks are asking themselves, how and when do we move on? How do we move forward from this tragedy? Well, this is a big weekend up here in Prescott. They have the Frontiers Days. It's the longest running rodeo in the country. They kicked it off, the celebration, with a moment of memory for those fallen firefighters on Monday with a riderless horse. And this is just their way of paying tribute, and an additional way of paying tribute is to continue with this rodeo. Here is the head of the Frontiers Days explaining why they must go on and have the rodeo this weekend.
Right. Well, you know, this is a Prescott tradition. You know, we've been going 126 years. It's one of the longest running, well, it is the longest continuous rodeo in the world. We started Monday night, and of course, under a pretty big cloud. We kicked our first performance off right away, right to begin with, honoring the fallen firefighters. We had a cowboy leading a riderless horse with a helmet.
Learning what we have about these firefighters, we can only imagine this is exactly what they would want to continue the tradition here in Prescott. For everyone at 12 News Today, thank you for joining us. We'll send it off to the Today Show.
Connecting Arizona. 12 News Today starts now.
The crew carriers for the Granite Mountain hot shots leave the Yarnell Hills fire and begin their journey home. All personnel in the incident will observe an operational pause in remembrance of our fallen comrades.
Honor guards from fire departments across the state are accompanying these bodies. These gentlemen are never going to be left alone.
And good morning to you on this 4th of July, a day to reflect on freedom and those who fight to protect it and us. And a day we continue to reflect and remember the 19 firefighters who laid down their lives to save a community.
We have live coverage from Prescott, from Kingman and Phoenix this morning as we continue to learn more about the heroes we lost at Yarnell Hill. First, send it over to Doug in Prescott. Doug?
Good morning, Emma. Good morning, Faye. Good morning, everybody. Happy 4th of July. Let's start with some good news on this 4th of July. 45% contained. That's what we're hearing from fire officials regarding the Yarnell Hill fire. That is great news. At this time yesterday, we were about 8% contained. Today, firefighters will aim their focus and try to contain that fire between the sections of Yarnell and Peoples Valley. So that's some good news for folks there. You know, we're outside the memorial here, ever growing every single day, and it's just outside station number 7, the home to these 19 men. We've had a chance to meet many of the family, friends, and speak to them and learn more about them. One in particular we talked to yesterday. It was the uncle of Anthony Rose, who actually had custody of him starting at age 15.
Well, when Anthony was a kid, he was a kid.
This is just one family story. There are 18 more families who lost their sons, nephews, best friends, fathers, brothers, and each of them is in our hearts and thoughts this morning on this, the 4th of July, a day we celebrate our independence and freedom. We also celebrate and honor the people who fight to protect us every single day, especially those who sacrifice their lives to do it. No more evident than what is happening in Prescott today, where we continue to mourn and remember those lost on the fire lines, but also a way to celebrate the 4th of July here in Prescott, and it will go on. The celebrations will go on. That's the very latest. We'll have another update for you in just a bit, but Faye, we'll toss it back to you.
All right, thanks very much, Doug. For more on that, let's head up to Doug, who is in Prescott for us this morning.
All right, Faye, thank you very much. You know, since Sunday, we've been receiving a lot of calls, and understandably so, as to when there will be a memorial service for these 19 men. When will there be some type of public formal service for them? Well, we have since found out that this will be scheduled for this coming Tuesday. So we will get through the holiday weekend, and then it will be scheduled for Tuesday. It will start at 11 a.m. over at Tim's Toyota Center Arena in Prescott Valley. A public procession will take the firefighters' bodies from Phoenix to Prescott on Sunday, and then the Phoenix Police Department will coordinate the procession of the 19 hearses. We could find out as early as this morning what the medical examiner's report says. Many still looking for answers there. Yavapai College, they are helping the families of the firefighters. They are creating a scholarship fund for the children and spouses. Since many of the Granite Mountain hotshots actually went to school there, they were part of the fire science program. The fund will give 2-year scholarships for the families and community college needs. And anything left over then will be granted towards the students in the fire science program. So great news there. You know, always something good does come out of a tragedy. And this is just some of the examples of that. Jimmy, as we toss it over to you for weather, we've kind of had an up and down morning here. Heavy cloud cover, some rain, and now we're back to things warming up, and I'm seeing blue skies here.
You know, and that's going to pretty much be the pattern.
Connecting Arizona. 12 News Today starts now.
Dustin DeFord. Christopher McKenzie.
With heavy hearts, the city of Prescott takes time to honor and celebrate the lives of the 19 brave men.
And it has to be a good feeling in Peoples Valley this morning. Many of the residents there waking up in their own beds. Chris Horapsky is there live. He's going to join us in just a second with more on just how happy everyone is to finally head back home after such a tough and tragic firefight. Good morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with 12 News Today at 4:30 a.m. We haven't been together in so long.
It feels good.
It does feel good.
Just past each other. Yeah, feels good. Feels good. Good morning, everybody. I'm Doug Meehan. Some of the folks, at least in Peoples Valley, going home. There are people still in Yarnell that are not going home yet. It may not happen until this weekend. We'll check in with Chris in just a little bit. But Jimmy, I got to tell you, come on in. We'll find out what's going on up there.
Hey, you. Yes.
Happy 4th, happy 5th of July.
Your time.
Right?
How was your night last night?
Ribs.
Ribs.
Lots of ribs.
I thought
A chance of storms. Hold on to your umbrellas because we could get some rain. Yeah.
All right, Jimmy, thank you very much. It is 4:32. Let's get to your top story this Friday, July 5th. Big progress made on the Yarnell fire. The new numbers this morning show the fire is now 80% contained.
such great news. And even
Welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us as you get ready to head into the weekend. I'm Faye Fredericks alongside Doug Meehan, who is back from the fire line.
Yes, we are. And, you know, it's with heavy hearts that we return because even though there's a big celebration, there's a lot of folks still hurting up there, but a nice respite for those folks, a nice diversion last night. We're going to go into that a little bit more. Yes, the Yarnell fire is about contained. Good news there, but the sorrow up north, not over, not even close. Here's where we are this morning. The Yarnell Hill fire, after a week, is finally 80% contained, full containment expected by the end of next week. Right now, some families in Peoples Valley are finally able to wake up at home. The evacuations there have been lifted. Here's what Sky 12 captured last night of the homecoming for many residents of Peoples Valley. Homeowners driving up their streets and into their driveways not knowing what they would be coming back to. This morning, evacuation orders still in place, though, for Yarnell.
Chris Horapsky is near Peoples Valley this morning. Chris, that has got to be such an incredible relief to the folks who got to go home last night.
Okay, so the Yarnell Hill fire near containment, but the Dean Peak fire rages on. This morning, the burning up near Kingman has slowed. Overnight, we've learned that firefighters have made some progress. This fire now 25% contained, although evacuations are still in place for the Pine Lakes and the Pinyon Pine neighborhoods. Ken Molestina still in Kingman this morning. Ken, do we know when those evacuees might be able to return back home?
No, we don't know, Doug.
5:08 now. Jimmy, how are they dealing with weather conditions up that way?
Well, the winds are actually looking pretty good. They're pretty favorable right now.
Government officials in Arizona say they expect the president to be at the memorial service on Tuesday but he has yet to confirm, or at least the White House has yet to confirm. You'll recall that the president was at the memorial service after the shooting massacre in Tucson 2 years ago. He has made calls to the mayor of Prescott and to Governor Brewer. However, we haven't been able to get a yay or nay answer to the question of whether or not he will be there this time around. Okay?
They're dedicated to just Yarnell Hill coverage. Oh, my goodness.
If we could toggle back and forth, we can go back to that original photograph. There you go. Now look at the difference. That is absolutely amazing. And if you're just, imagine being one of those homeowners and you look and you see your home and you go, okay, all right, I have perspective. And then we dissolve back to the current photo and the shock that these homeowners must have when they see either whether or not their home is still standing or whether or not it's just been reduced to rubble. It really puts everything in perspective when you drop those two pictures on top of one another. Really amazing. In the northern part of our state, a different story. In some parts, people still wondering if their homes are safe. The Dean Peak fire burned more than 5,200 acres. But we found out overnight 25% containment up there from 0% yesterday morning. That is terrific news thanks to the helicopters conducting bucket drops all day. Still, neighborhoods are evacuated this morning.
Ken Molestina has been in Kingman for most of the week for us. And Ken, we know hundreds of homes have been evacuated. Have any of those homes been lost? This is our shot from Sky 12. They're up over Carefree this morning.
Just a couple of minutes here. We're going to send you off to the Today Show back up in New York. But, you know, for all of the viewers, for all of us here at 12 News, it's been a hard week for a lot of people. And, you know, there's some sense of closure with a week coming to the end. But we also have the big memorial coming up on Tuesday. Firefighters are going to be brought from here to Prescott on Sunday. We just want to send you off to the weekend with a look back at the coverage, and we send you off in tribute to those firefighters.
Pictures of places we won't leave behind, like